So today I thought we'd talk about inflatable robots. Now there's a lot of them and there's a lot of reasons why they did it, and I'm just starting with this one that was sold basically by Radio Shack and a few others. This is Starman 1980, but I'll show you more versions of this. I have this one sitting down here in the box because it's a duplicate, and when I show you the others which are on display, it'll make things easier. So basically the idea behind this is you have a remote control. Sometimes the remote controls are wired, but mostly they're just, I gotta make sure I can see what I'm looking at. Mostly they're just a single channel remote. When you turn the robot on, it's already moving forward, and when you push the button, it goes in reverse and turns in reverse. Now, the way they're accomplishing all that on a robot that you've basically blown up with air is everything's in the base. So they have this base platform. Trying to keep the stickers down, on, off, there we go. This would be the front. What's it say? So something important in here. Batteries must be installed correctly. Runs backwards. C batteries are in backwards. 9 volt and backwards. It's just warning about if things aren't working right, to check your batteries. This particular case, this one is going to operate on 4 C-cell batteries and 1 9 volt in the robot. And then of course there's a 9 volt that goes into the transmitter. This particular one we're looking at was made in Korea. But anyway, they make a remote control platform. And then on that platform they have the blow-up robot, which is in this package. And the very bottom of the blow-up robot, before you blow it up, you stuff down inside this cavity. So once you blow it up, it secures itself to here by being blown up inside and blown up outside, so it pinches on that ridge. And that holds the robot as part of this. And then that gives the child a robot that, in this case, is 3.5 feet tall, which is pretty big when you're a little teeny kid. Here's some of the instructions, which you can feel free to pause and read at your own leisure. This was 1979, this particular one is dated. We're going to get up on the ladder and we're going to zoom across because I have all of the other blow-ups on display, and I keep them blown up because, you know, blow-up things always go flat. They lose their air. So they're all tied to a aquarium pump, which is set on its lowest setting. In fact, I actually run the aquarium pump at half voltage. Instead of running it on 120 volts, I run it on 60. Because I don't want to split any of these. I just wanted to keep them inflated so they wouldn't fall down. And before we get there, here's another box for the, where is it at? Starman 80 right there. And you can see there's the Radio Shack one up there. The Starman 80 sitting right next to it. Then you've got little short ones. You've got this big tall ones. That might be the Starman 80 actually. This looks more like the Radio Shack variations. You got fat ones. Those are all on radio control bases. Down here we have Andy the Android. Before we get clear down to that though, there are some boxes down below here. They're kind of hidden by things stacked in front, but it says an inflatable robot. That would be for this guy up here. And the Megatech, he's not blown up. I kind of ran out of room, but he's even bigger. It says the largest inflatable robot ever. Try me. So it has a try me button, which, since I've never opened the box, I hope there isn't a battery in there leaking. And it has a more complicated remote control, so you can steer it more. So it looks like they may have added sounds or lights or even more functions to it. And over here are some more bizarre looking ones. Again, I ran out of room for display, but look at the head and the design of that little guy. It's pretty bizarre. Big bots, they were called. Inflates to over 4 feet tall. And another big bots right down there. Like I say, we stopped with Andy. I'm going to move my ladder. I can see Andy's box is pretty well covered up. Because you can see Andy's box hiding behind these two things. It says Andy, and it also says that that Andy was sold by Radio Shack. Big bots. Here's a big Battletron. Guy's huge. Huge. Well over 5 foot. On a radio controlled base. BattleBots. That'd be the box that came in right there, I guess. Yep. That would be it. It says inflated over 4 foot. Okay. We've got another one back here which is not on display. Ran out of room. Like I say, they weren't all radio controlled. They did bump and go, and they also did wire remote ones. I believe, if I remember right, this skinny little guy right here, I think that was a bump and go version. Here's one with a round pedestal. Tweaky, you can see his antenna. So Tweaky is radio controlled. Then you have these Servitrons, which they sold as the maid, the chef, and the butler. And they all have triangular shaped bases, but exactly the same functions as the Radio Shack ones. Some of the Servitron boxes would be right there. Hard to see with stuff in front of them, but you can see the word Servitron. And there's the Weaky or Tweaky box. Oh, maybe I can even zoom in. I'm up on a ladder, so it's kind of tough. There we go, hiding behind that guy. So you can see his remote control. So, in case none of you had ever thought about it, they are inflatable robots that you can drive around. And as a kid, they would be fun because they'd be really large, and I'm sure they probably would get taken out in the water because they're also inflatable. And then there are ones that don't move that are just inflatable, like your R2-D2 and your C-3PO pool buddies there. And then there's inflatable punching bags. There's Iron Man, Transformer, and Programmed for Love being kind of cut off by the Jupiter 2 here. Let's go up underneath and to the side. Maybe we can see more of that punching bag. There we go. Get a closer look at some of these boxes too. But just thought I'd take a quick moment to show you some of the inflatable robots.